We're gonna talk about aliens. We're gonna talk about abuse of people being locked in cages and molested. So trigger warning on any of those things. We're gonna talk about a radioactive spider that we'll get into it. We're gonna talk about also ghost stories. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the second ever episode of Therapy Session, the podcast. I am your host, Michaela Renee. Welcome or welcome back. The first order of business I would like to ask you guys is please compare this video quality versus the last video and tell me which lighting looks better. I can't tell if I should leave all the overhead lights off in my apartment or keep them on. So let me know. Second order of business is I would like to invite you to subscribe to this YouTube channel because 90% of you are not subscribed. What the heck? You watch my videos, but you're not subscribed. That's weird. That's obsessive behavior. That's fan behavior. Just join the family, okay? You're included over here. You're included. Include yourself. All you gotta do is click that button. Turn the notification bell on to get a notification every single time I upload a video. I do upload a lot. Follow all my social media, including my OnlyFans. Go watch my sex tapes. They will be linked down below. My OnlyFans is onlyfans.com/xmichaelafans or onlyfans.com/xmichaelafans2. It's in the description. Just click the links. The xmichaelafans2 is the one with the sex tapes. You can get the sex tapes on both of the accounts, but the sex tapes are actually on the feed on the xmichaelafans2. On the just xmichaelafans, you have to purchase it in PPV in the messaging, but you also get a lot of lingerie photos, like 1,000 photos and videos on there too. So whatever you want to do there. I also have an Instagram, Snapchat, all that kind of stuff. I'm excited to get into today's video, today's podcast, today's episode. It is technically all of those things. Oh, we also have to do an OOTP, outfit of the podcast. Guys, okay, I am wearing the exact same dress as I wore in the last podcast, but just the black version. Again, it's from Target. Everything I'm wearing is actually from Target. They are going crazy in Target. Honestly, the past few years, I've always loved Target. This is just a bodycon dress. It was like $10. This is again from Target. It's so freaking cute to me. I usually don't like stuff like that, but I'm in a preschool phase. I don't know. My inner child is just screaming. I'm allowing her to come out. And these earrings are also very, very cool. They're from Target. It was in like a pack, and the pack was like $8. This was like, honestly, like $5 probably. I don't remember. Also, if I seem a little spacey in today's episode, I feel like this episode looks better. Let me know in the comments down below if episode 1 or 2 looks better. But I think the coloring looks better in this one. But I'm like, is it too dark? But you should be able to see me, right? And also the vibe is that we're having a therapy session. It should be calm. And I'm in bed, so it should be calm, right? Anyways, also if I seem a little bit spacey or more all over the place than usual, it's because I'm a little high. So, let's take a hit. This one tastes so good. I'm gonna take another hit. Definitely not sponsored, but if you would like to sponsor me, Drip, I would love for you to sponsor me. I love your weed so much. These are the Drip cartridges. They're the disposables though. I've never tried disposables before, but these are really good. They're both indica, so I am a little a little stony baloney. I've never said that in my life. And I may like smoke it throughout. I'm gonna try to not be annoying though, because I know how awkward it is to sit there. It'd be different if I was like doing an interview and the other person was like talking, but I know how awkward it is to just sit there, so I'm not gonna like smoke, okay? But I know you guys also smoke with me, so if I take a pause to smoke and you also smoke, just take a hit with me. So it's not awkward. We just both need to be smoking, okay? Just join in on the fun. Let's see. Let's do some catching up, okay? In the last episode, if you haven't seen it, I talked about just my life growing up and basically like my timeline of life. I just skipped through everything and really like just hit on everything and didn't go into a lot of detail on each thing. So in today's episode, I'm really excited to talk to you guys about my family. I just want to tell you a bunch of story times that my family has told me over my lifetime, because we're gonna get into it, but we're gonna talk about aliens. We're gonna talk about abuse of people being locked in cages and molested. So trigger warning on any of those things. We're gonna talk about a radioactive spider that we'll get into it. We're gonna talk about also ghost stories. So that's all I can think of at the moment, but we'll get into it, okay? I want to go into all of this today. My family's crazy. My family, okay, where do I even start? So my mother and my father, okay? So we're gonna go into, should we go to my mom's side or my dad's side? Should we start sad or should we start like kind of like funky? Let's start funky because I actually like my mom's side of the family. My dad's side of the family is a bit like, they're like not a good kind of funky, you know, but my mom's side of the family is an okay kind of funky. I don't know if that's gonna make sense, but we're gonna get into the stories, okay? And I might talk like this, and it's not on purpose, and I'm just doing this for the bit right now, but later, my accent comes out like crazy when I talk about my family or I am with my family, so I usually talk to you guys like this, but when I'm with my family, I kind of talk to them like this, so if that comes out, I'm just gonna let it come out because that's just how I talk when I'm with my family for some reason. And I notice, I notice when my brother comes to visit, I'm literally not doing it on purpose. I notice when my brother comes to visit, I notice my jaw like really hurts afterwards because I'm talking different and I don't notice it. But then I notice when I get on video, I'm like very like, hello guys. Like, no, I'm like, hey guys, what's up? I just talk a little bit different. I don't know. But when I notice, even when I was talking to my friend Celeste, I noticed that my jaw hurt afterwards. And I think it's just because we all kind of like bring it out in each other. I don't live there anymore, so they bring it out in me. I'm sure they still got it, but I don't know, and I kind of just teleport back whenever I talk about stories like this. I'm gonna let myself like talk however I talk. So yeah, I just wanted to point out the elephant in the room because I don't want it to seem like I'm like doing it on purpose because I said I'm from Oklahoma, but it hurts my jaw sometimes, so I'm gonna try not to do that. But so let's see. my mom's side of the family, my mom has 8 brothers and sisters. Well, she's part of the 8, so she has 7 brothers and sisters. She grew up, and my grandparents were still married, and they met when my grandma was pretty young. And my grandma's one of my spirit guides, so every time I talk about her, I get like chills. So that's also something I did not mention. Maybe that's what I should do this episode about, bro. I just wasted 11 minutes though. And my mom always tells me stories about my grandma because my grandma's kind of crazy, okay? My mom has a lot of ghost stories too. My mom talks about how she thought she was crazy for a long time, or she thought that she was the only one it was happening to, but she had a lot of ghost experiences in her home. Her home growing up was on top of a Indian burial ground. I don't know if that's an offensive thing to say. Native American burial ground. I'm just gonna say it how I'm used to saying it. I don't know if it's offensive. I've gotten a comment before that was like, it's offensive, and then everybody else was like, no, it's not. So I don't know. In my experience, it's literally like the sign literally says Indian burial ground. And also, I'm Cherokee, so I'm not trying to be offensive. Like, it's my own, like, what is that even called? Culture? Like, I'm not good at this stuff, okay? I'm not out here trying to be proper. I don't want to offend you, but also I'm not the person to look for that kind of stuff from. Like, I'm not doing it on purpose if I'm offending you, okay? I'm really not meaning to. But anyways, her house was built on top of the Indian burial grounds in our town. She grew up in the town that I grew up in. And I guess because of that, spirits kind of get, you know, in the haunted shows when they're like, okay, these are new builds, and everybody's like, oh, like, because the spirits kind of get like swept up because it's new construction. But if something's kind of old and it's been there, the same spirits are there. Especially if it's on top of an Indian burial ground, it's like really active with spirits, apparently. And my mom tells me about how she would be sleeping and she would feel the bed being like literally lifted off the ground and dropped. And she would wake up when it was dropping, and she would feel things touching on her feet. She would feel the blankets being tugged on. I wish she was here to like tell you, but she, yeah, she tells me all of that. And I have been in that house, obviously. Growing up, I went over there all the time. I guess not obviously, but they still have that house. The house is still there. And growing up, I would stay the night. Not stay the night. My parents would be gone at work at like 1 a.m. because they would like deliver papers. So I would like sleep sometimes there. Not like overnight, but maybe I did. I don't know. But I remember this one time I was sleeping. And I was sleeping in the living room because there's so many people in this freaking house. It's a tiny ass house, but I would be sleeping in the living room and I would be asleep. I would wake up and the front door would be open. And then I would get up terrified because I thought someone was literally like breaking in the house. I would get up terrified and close it, literally lock all the locks, and then go back to sleep, and then wake up, it would be open again. And of course, like, you ask people, you're like, everybody in the house, like, did anybody do this? Everybody's like, no. Like, so some ghosty shit is going on there, and I cannot explain how I felt when the door just kept opening. I was like, really? I think I'm about to get murdered. But also, I live in Claremore, Oklahoma, so I'm not gonna get murdered, but it feels like I'm gonna get murdered, okay? I was like, I'm gonna be the first murderer in 50 years in this bitch. Like, that's what it feels like. It feels so creepy. And I didn't even experience anything close to what my mom experienced. And my mom tells me that whenever she finally decided to like speak up about it, my grandma, her mom, would tell her like, oh, I'm experiencing similar things. So it's not just like in her head, you know? But my grandma, she also has stories about how, here's a story. They're all like tiny story times, so it's difficult for me to like tie them together, but just, they're all fun and funky, okay? Even if they're a little bit like choppy the way that I feel like I'm not telling them well enough. Hopefully I can sit with my mom and she can go in depth on the stories and you can get her perspective eventually down the line. That would be so fun. But she tells me that my grandma saw this huge spider because she was by some see, I'm not good at telling these. She's by some construction thing, and she talks about how there's a giant spider bigger than her car. And she says that, my mom says that she was with her, but she was asleep because she was like younger and she didn't know about it till later in life when her mom told her about it. So she didn't see it, but she was there. And she said she remembers her mom being scared, but she doesn't remember seeing the spider. And she's like, I remember her like locking the car doors and stuff, but yeah, she saw a huge spider bigger than the car. And let's see what else. She also talks about how she saw Bigfoot. My grandma saw Bigfoot. Oh my goodness. My grandma saw Bigfoot apparently, and it kind of makes sense because there are a lot of Bigfoot sightings in Oklahoma. And she said that, I think my mom said that they're like babies or something. I don't know that one very well. But my grandma is insane. She's just a little kooky in the head. My grandparents also slept in different, I remember my grandpa would sleep in the living room and my grandma would sleep in the bedroom. I don't really know what was going on there. Also, my grandma had a rabbit in her bathroom, and she used to, this is what I remember, she used to give us these like zebra stripe gums. This gives me similar vibes. Maybe grandma, are you coming through? That's why I bought this. Zebra stripe gum. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, if you know, you know. Google it if you don't. She used to give me that. And what else do I remember about her? I used to go in her makeup and use that mascara that's pink and green. I think is it Maybelline? And it has a black top, but it's pink. Maybelline. I used to use her mascara and go in there. I used to spend a lot of time at that house, actually. My parents did, like I said, they delivered newspapers, which is silly because they like have that in movies and stuff, but my parents like actually delivered newspapers, but not like on a bicycle, like like in cars. Like I used to help, my parents would pay me sometimes. I don't think they paid me most of the time, but I remember sometimes they would pay me to like roll newspapers and like put rubber bands around them, and we would have these like bundles of newspapers stacked up in the back of the car, and they would have like 2-3 hour routes, and we would be driving around the lake and shit. And I remember we would like go with my mom and sometimes go with my dad, but my dad always had longer routes, and we would like never want to go with him because he would like go overnight and stuff. But yeah, they delivered newspapers. Yeah, that's so funny to me. I don't know. My mom would also, I wouldn't go most of the time because why would I want to do that? And also I was older, so I could like go hang out with friends or whatever. So why would I want to do that? But my brother would take his friend Sam and go with my mom, and my mom talks about that a lot, but but yeah, let's go into my dad's side of the family. We might have to come back to my mom's side of the family because I feel like I am not remembering some of my grandma's stories because she's crazy. I went to her grave. I went to her grave when I went back to Claremore in May to visit my brother. And I was just, I wanted to do, like, this is our sense of humor. I wanted to do a mukbang where the title is having lunch with my dead grandma, and I'm just having lunch with her on her grave. Not in a disrespectful way, she's literally my grandma. She's literally my grandma. I was at her funeral. She's my grandma. Okay, not in a disrespectful way, but I think if people saw me, but also I live in a small town, so maybe no one would care. No one would maybe notice because it's very like spread out. But should I do that? Well, I really want to do that. I had the idea after I got back home, after I went, but that's funny to me. I like that. That's silly to me. I think she would like that. But okay, let's go to my dad's side of the family. This is where the craziness happens, okay? My dad is insane. My dad, I grew up with my dad, like, just yelling at us all the time. My brother, I mean, this is burping and I can't cut it out. I'm sorry. I just had Mexican food. My brother even said, he texted me yesterday. He's like, remember? He's like, I remember when dad would wake us up and he would just be shaming us because we slept too late. I don't know. My dad is crazy, like yelling at the top of your lungs, like, get up for school, like banging shit. Like, I'm not joking. Like, that shit is traumatizing. I was so excited to finally get my license because he didn't wake me up anymore. Oh my god, he literally would fucking like on the door to wake us up, and then he would be in there. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm asleep still. I'm like, you just woke me up. Oh my god, it's not funny. That is child abuse, okay? It's not funny, but I'm laughing to cope with it, okay? He did a lot of things like that. I remember him also dragging me down a hallway by my feet and like using the belt, and he like said he was spanking me, but I felt it on my back. It was on my back. Like, you're dragging me down a hallway. What, at like 10 years old? You little pussy. You pussy. Fight me now, motherfucker. Fight me now, father. Jesus. No. I just let him be him now, and I've gone through a lot of forgiveness. Not for him, but for me. And I don't talk to him. He's blocked on everything. He probably watches my YouTube videos still. Actually, he probably doesn't because he literally doesn't care. Unless he sees like a title with him in it, then he might watch it because he likes the attention. But yeah, I saw him in May and I just acted like I was fine with him. I was just whatever. But when I leave, he's blocked. Like, I don't talk to him, you know? But yeah, he would do craziness. I also remember my boyfriend at the time was in my room, and he like busted in the room and scared my boyfriend, and he literally took the boyfriend home. I don't even know what happened, but he was like, yes, the boyfriend can stay the night. And then he went off the handle at like 2 in the morning or something, and was like, no, I have to take you home. You can't be here spending the night with my daughter. Even though he literally didn't give a fuck about me. First of all, you were abusing me. What the fuck? Second of all, you said yes. And then now you're saying no when we're asleep? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, you psychopath? His side of the family is just very mentally ill. He's a narcissist. My grandmother's a narcissist. My grandfather was a kind man, like a people pleaser. He passed away in like 2007. My grandma is crazy on that side, but not in a kooky funky way like my other grandma. I love Margaret. Margaret is my mom's mom, and she passed away when I was like 8. And that really hit me hard. I remember that really hit me hard. I remember the pain. I can still feel the pain, seriously. I was a little girl. Oh my gosh. And I remember I wanted to give her a flower and I couldn't bear to see her dead body up there. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I love you, Margaret. Anyways, Delverto. On the other hand, yeah, we're saying real names because frick you guys. You guys are fine, whatever. You guys are not fine, actually. And I don't even live near you guys, so I don't have to be scared. Yeah, I just remember being hella criticized by that grandma. Everything I remember about her is like awful. I remember she accidentally burnt me with a cigarette on my arm when I tried to hug her. I don't know if it was an accident, but she made it seem like it was an accident. I don't remember. I was a child. And then I would wear like black nail polish and she's like, is black the new fad? Like one of those kind of, and I have so many memories like that. And she's just like very judgy. And she used to tell my mom like, you guys never come and see me. And my mom's like, well, the car works both ways, Delverna. Oh my God, you never come and see us. They're crazy. But apparently, hearsay, no, I just be hearing this shit. They're all crazy. So there has to be something traumatic that happened. But also they're all crazy. So how credible are the sources? But also I have a not crazy aunt and she says it did happen. And I had a phone call with her maybe a year ago and asked her everything that happened. I said, can you explain to me your childhood? And I just want to see how things line up. And she explained. And she explained it pretty similarly. So I guess they're telling the truth. But anyways, my grandma apparently her brothers were locked in cages, and it's either her brothers or the other generation, the older generation before that. But I think it was her brothers were locked in cages, and then their dad made them like fight each other. And then the girls would be molested and not kept in cages, but molested. So my family's like really messed up. I would love to get their perspective on that kind of stuff. I would go, but I don't want to deal with them. Maybe later in my life, I don't know. But I just cannot be in the same room. I'm not there yet. I could be in the same room as my dad for a very small amount of time. But I'm not there with the whole family. Oh my God. How could I even talk to them? They would all gang up on me. That would not even be able to happen. I'll have to talk to them one-on-one. My great grandma just had her 100th birthday. She kind of crazy. She was like born in 20s, like 1920s, and it's almost 20. It is 2020. She 100. That is insane to me. And she's still kicking. I think she's blind though, and she has a cane. Like, she's actually blind, and she's kind of going deaf too. Everybody, like, she's still kicking though. My brother just went to her my brother just went to her 100th birthday in like the summer. I don't know, maybe like June. I don't know when her birthday is, but I remember he was just making a big deal out of it. He made a TikTok. Maybe I could put the TikTok in here. No, I'm not going to edit this. But go to Big Ravioli on TikTok and see. He said, I'm going to my grandma's 100th birthday. I'm so excited, in a TikTok. So whenever that TikTok was posted is when her birthday was. They don't even, like, oh my God, they're just crazy. So that means that my great grandma, oh my God, this is all clicking. That means that my great grandma was letting her kids get molested. Oh my God. This is all clicking for me right here, right now on camera. That means my great grandma that we always joke about was allowing her kids to be fought and locked in cages and molested. Whoa. It feels a little further than that. Because I literally see them and talk to them. Whoa. Oh my god, that's why they're messed up. Every time I go to family dinner, like a Christmas or something, there's like this guy. I don't even know their names. I haven't been in a long time. I was young. There's this guy that's just like scribbling. And we're all eating Thanksgiving dinner and he's just scribbling. I don't know what he's scribbling. I think it's drug-induced schizophrenia. I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because what the hell? It's just a lot. That's why I'm laughing, okay? Is this a lot? Is this a lot? Is this normal? I don't think it's normal, but also I've never been validated by a therapist. I've never been validated, so I don't know. I don't know if everybody got some deep, dark stuff like this and I'm just willing to talk about it, but I just got some craziness. But yeah, apparently that used to happen. But I literally have talked to them. That's kind of crazy to me. I didn't know it was them. I did not put 2 and 2 together. And then after my grandpa died, he left her a lot of money. And she wasted it all because she smoked so many packs of cigarettes a day. I don't know how she's alive. How do people smoke like 3 packs of cigarettes a day? I really don't know. I'm being exaggerative. I don't know anything about cigarettes. Don't cancel me. I don't know. But she seriously smokes so many packs of cigarettes and she's like 75 and she's not on... Is she on oxygen? No, she's not on oxygen. And my grandpa died. But he was healthy. He did not smoke. And he died in 2007. That's kind of funky, don't you think? No, I'm not saying nothing. I'm not saying nothing. But that is kind of funky. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying it's funky. That's not fair. That is not fair. He's a good man. And she's out here still being evil. Guys, do you believe in evil? I definitely believe in evil. I believe in the devil, but not like heaven and hell type shit. I believe in like heaven and hell on earth. I remember me and my friend Celeste when she came here to I saw her when she came here to Arizona, and we both said that. We were like, heaven and hell on earth. We were like, oh my god, we believe the same things. That's so interesting. But we didn't even know that before, and we've been friends since freshman year for 10 years. But yeah, my family's crazy. Is that all I can think of? I'm very disappointed because I thought this was gonna be longer, because when I think about my craziness, I think about, we got a lot of craziness going on, but I think I just can't describe it well enough. My mom, the trauma my mom got. My mom was also just like a second mom to her sibling. Not even like a second mom. She's like a mom to her siblings. She's like taking care of them. There's so many kids that there's such a big like age difference. So she grew up. Yeah. Like she didn't get a childhood really, which is sad. But she's also still very like childlike, which is so interesting. My dad is just kind of crazy though. My dad's the kind of person that he has substance abuse issues, and he just doesn't handle it well. You know, some people can handle it well, but he can't. He's like one of those people that he's a victim. He's the victim. And yeah, you've been through some shit. You should be the victim in some circumstances, but you're the victim in the wrong circumstances, okay? You ignore your past, but then you're a victim when something you're just really not a victim about. But he's crazy. But yeah, he just made everything about him, dude. We'll get into an episode on him one day, okay? We'll talk about all my daddy issues. I guess we can talk about my mommy issues a little bit in this video, in this podcast, in this episode. I don't know what to call these. I'm used to saying video. We could talk about my mommy issues a little bit. because that's something that I wanted to. Sorry, I'm fucking burping and I can't cut it out, okay? Ah! Get it out. I ate Mexican food. I'm sorry. I'm not disgusting, okay? I've been wanting to talk about my mommy issues, but I don't want my mommy to watch this video, okay? Because I don't want to hurt her feelings. Because I have some harsh words, but I don't want to hurt her feelings, you know? But I also don't want to say them to her. And this is where I express. This is where I let out my harsh feelings. So, if my mom ever watches this, just know I'm just telling my perspective and my truth. And I know you're not a bad person. I love you, but it's still my perspective. I can't go on ignoring my experience, and I think maybe you should just not watch this, okay? Because I don't want to hurt your feelings. But I've been having a lot of issues with my mom lately, if we're gonna be honest. We're just gonna get deep here. This is therapy sessions with Michaela, okay? I've been having issues with my mom. Growing up, I felt like I needed to protect my mom. I could always see that she was being abused, but she didn't see it, I guess. I don't know. That's what she says. She says she was happy until pretty much a year or two before she left. And I grew up seeing that she was being abused and seeing that I was being abused at least. And I used to like always argue with my dad because he would be like treating her like crap and treating me like crap, and I would be the one like standing up for everybody. And when I say this, I'm talking about at like 6 years old. At like 8 years old. I said I hate you to my dad for the first time at like 6, maybe 8. The oldest, 8 years old. But I remember just severely hating my dad because he's crazy, and I can be lighthearted about it and whatever, but he came from craziness and he is crazy, and the way he handled things is crazy. I have so many stories, and I have so many things that are also just like blacked out of my memory, and I would have to like see him to resurface them. But my mom, I grew up idealizing her. I think because she was the better of the two, I grew up thinking that she was perfect. And my brother thinks that she's perfect too. I don't know if he genuinely thinks she's perfect, but he's still younger. But I used to genuinely, like, actually think she was perfect. Like, and I know a lot of people feel like that about their parents, but I, as an adult, have had to sit down and look at how I grew up, and I finally got over my daddy issues within the past 2 years, and I don't hate him anymore. I don't want him to die anymore. I remember I used to, I don't know if that is too much to say, but I used to have dreams about me killing him. I'm being honest. I would never, ever do something like that, but your subconscious, to get rid of your pain, your subconscious does crazy shit. So I would have nightmares about me killing my dad. And recently, I've been having those similar dreams about my mom. And I would never, obviously, oh my gosh, I remember, oh my gosh, this is crazy. I remember one time I got high and I made her take away the knives. Because I was like, I think I'm gonna murder you. Like, I got so high, and those were the thoughts that I was having. Like, I felt like I was gonna kill myself and kill her. I'm just being honest. I know other people have thoughts like that and they don't say it out loud, but I'm just being honest, okay? And rappers write about that shit, but I'm just being honest. I'm just saying it out loud, okay? I'm just being real. But it literally, the psychology behind it, because I love psychology. You guys will also learn that with this podcast. I'm really into the brain and also spirituality. I will do a God episode. I want to do a God episode. I'm not religious, but I want to tell you like my religious history, because I grew up as a Baptist. Maybe that will be the next episode. I grew up as a Baptist, and now I'm just really spiritual. But anyways, what was I even saying? Fuck. But yeah, the psychology behind that is just that there's pain that's caused from that side of the family, and she's a symbol of the pain, and my brain is trying to get rid of the pain, that my brain is trying to kill the pain. And I remember talking to a therapist about that when my mom took me when I was like 16, 17, I don't know, around then. And I would tell her, like, I had these crazy thoughts, and I would tell her, like, I would never do this. I don't want to do that. Like, I don't have a compulsion to do that. It's just I'm having these dreams, you know? And she was like, no, this is actually, like, really normal. Like, especially when you have as a traumatic past as you do. But I was literally going for a traumatic breakup, and I ended up talking about stuff like that. But I did not go for very long to therapy. I don't know how long I went, but I talked to her about that. I opened up pretty quickly. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I've been having those dreams lately, but also at the same time it makes sense because I've been dealing with, I've just been thinking, Mom, you did not protect me. Like, you can act like this little naive little shit all you want, but in reality, you were an adult and I was a child. Like, I was telling you that I hated my father so much that I would be red in the face screaming at him because I was in so much pain, emotional pain. And I would look her in the eyes and tell her and scream at her. Like, who sees their 6-year-old child acting like that, their 8-year-old child, their 10-year-old child acting like that and having severe pain and hating their father and does nothing about it and just chalks it up to being hormonal or just being a child? If my child was doing that, I would think there was something severely wrong with the person that I chose to have a child with, because what child believed that? I don't know. That's like, I think that's similar to like children saying like, oh, they touched me here, and the parents like doesn't take it seriously. Like, you need to take that shit seriously. That's something that I will take seriously with my child. Oh my gosh, because I grew up just feeling like no one would listen to me. Like, I would just be screaming at her like, bro, like, you need to leave him. Like, in child words, obviously, but and I would just, and she knew everything that was going on, and she just lives in ignorant bliss, I guess. Like, I really don't know. I remember she used to say, you don't have trauma. Oh, honey bun. But I don't know if it's a naive thing or a malicious thing, you know? I don't know if it's her being naive and not knowing. That feels impossible, though. How could you see your child in so much pain and not be doing anything? But so I've been dealing with that recently, and dealing with the anger that I have towards my mother, that I was this innocent little, like, I have photos of myself as a child up there, and I look at them all the time, and I'm like, I was this innocent little, like, precious, small, gap-toothed, like, the most innocent, cutest little thing, and I was so angry inside because I had so much pain already. I was so tiny. I was so little. And that just shows how messed up I was being treated, because I just hated the people that were treating me like that, because I knew something was wrong. I didn't know what was wrong, but I knew something was wrong. And I grew up always being like, oh, I'm gonna move away. That was my dream. My dream was to get away. I was like, I don't care where I move. I was like, I'm gonna go to LA. I'm gonna go to Hollywood. But it wasn't like it was like, I need to get away from my dad type of thing. And I did. I moved out at 18. Like, I think that says a lot, that I went through all of the hurdles and all of the, like, I was homeless because I chose to leave with no money because I couldn't be around my father, you know? And my mom just watched it. Like, she was just useless, like emotionally useless, and just scared of truth, like scared of what was going on. She was just she just is a fearful person. And I just don't understand how I was 8 and I knew something was wrong, yet she was 35 and didn't know something was wrong. That's just hard for me to believe. So those are the feelings that I'm dealing with, like anger and being bitter and resentful. And I mean, just to say, like, that's normal. Like, if you guys are going through that also, let it be validated, because I don't go to therapy now, but I've been told by therapists in the past that it's normal. So it is scary to like say out loud, and it is like scary to have thoughts like that. But when you go through such immense pain, that is a reality. That is something the kid inside of you doesn't understand what happened. So things happen psychologically, and undealt with pain turns into thoughts, you know, and subconscious dreams that are trying to sort themselves out. But I haven't talked to my mom in a week. I literally live with her. Like, she literally lives right there. But I haven't talked to her in like a week because I just need space from her. And I've said this before. This is a feeling I've had since I started living with her. I've been living with her for two and a half years. But I've been too scared to say it. This is how I used to feel around my father. But now I feel it around my mom. And I never used to feel like that. But I don't trust her. I don't feel safe around her. I feel on edge. She's very just criticizing. She comments on everything I do. She comments on the money that I spend, on how I choose to live my life, on every decision that I make, on what I look like, on everything. She just has negative things to say. And that just really affects me. And just on top of the fact that she wasn't a good mom. Point blank, period. She was better than my father, but that doesn't make her a good parent. And I have always said, she's the best mom I could ever ask for. Fuck no. No, I wish I had a mom that fucking protected me and took me away from that evil fucking monster. I wish she had the strength to do that. And that's just honest. That's just honest. That's just real. That's just the truth. Tea, sis. Seriously, because that shit's fucked up. And now, I wrote like a poem, song, something. I wrote something about this and posted it on Snapchat, but she always sees these stories on the news or on Facebook, and she sends me TikToks, or she's like, can you believe that this happened? And it's like a mom treating their daughter awfully, or they're like a mom like leaving their daughter out in the snow to starve. And she's like, can you believe them? How could a mother ever do that? And then I just think, like, I was screaming for 14 years of my life that my dad was evil. And then I finally left. And it took that for you to see that he was evil. Like, what do you mean? How could they do that? Did you not do that? Like, what the fuck do you mean? Did you not do that? I'm confused. Like, are we living the same life? Are we living the same reality? Like, you don't see that you did that? You don't see me so much that you don't know you did that? And I have spent the last 2 or 3 years trying to fix her. And I went from fixing boyfriends to fixing her. Oh my God, I've just wasted so much time trying to fix her and trying to explain trauma to her and trying to, that's a trauma response, by the way. Trying to explain to people how they hurt you and the science behind why they hurt you. That's trauma. That's the trauma response. Like, you don't have to explain to your abusers why you hate them and how they abused you. Like, what? And you don't have to justify. I've always been scared to say this also because my brother still thinks my mom is perfect. She's not fucking perfect, and she will not be seeing my children until she fixes her fucking mouth. I know I don't have children yet, but if she has that critical mouth, she will not be seeing my children, because my children deserve words of praise and not words of criticism. Okay? Jesus Christ. Children are the most precious things in the fucking world. And it's crazy to me that you can push something out of your body and then watch it grow up for 23 years and then fucking pick at the fact that it has a unibrow. Or, girl, your mustache is getting a little too much. Like, you're looking rough. Or, like, you've gained weight. You look bloated. Or your double chin is really prominent. Or, like, oh, why are you wearing that? And then when, like, I'll be wearing a ratty t-shirt, she's like, ugh, Michaela, you haven't showered and blah, like, and it's not in a motherly way. It's in a critical way. It's in a hateful way. And then when I get dressed and I look good, she's like, well, where are you going looking all put together like it's a bad thing? You know, it don't make sense. It don't make sense. And in my head, saying this stuff out loud, I'm like, huh, just get over it. It's not that serious. But it is. It's my fucking life giver. And I've been hearing the shit since I was little. It is that serious. And I'm just, like, seeing it now. It is that serious. Like, it puts a damper on everything. Like, your mother birthed you. She pushed you out of her vagina, chose to have you, acts like you were the most precious gift of her life, but then says words like that to you. It just doesn't make sense, and it makes you not understand love. And then your daughter gets into abusive relationships, and you're like, why are you letting this dude hit you? I can't believe you're not leaving him. Like, stuff like that. But yet, you were with my father, and you ignored me for 14 years. 12 years, whatever, when I was begging you to leave. Like, I was like, Mom, can we leave? You're like, no. Like, what the fuck? Like, and you're like, why did you pick an abusive partner? What? What do you mean, why? You taught me to do that. And you taught me to pick friends that are backstabbing and lie to me and be loyal to them anyways, because you give me mixed signals. You give me mixed signals, Mom. Like, shit. Like, you're like, oh, all I ever wanted, all my dream out of life was to have you. And it was the best feeling I ever felt in my entire life. And then it's like, ugh, but I don't like this about you. I don't like this about you. You're too this, you're too this. You do too much of this. I wish you were more like this. Like, it doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't fucking make sense. So, that's what I'm dealing with right now. That felt so good to say. I just think there's like this weird stigma around moms and the fact that you can't say moms are bad. And I've also been scared because I literally live with her. And I feel like it's disrespectful to just be honest. But it's not disrespectful. They shamed me into thinking that speaking my truth was disrespectful. I would tell my dad, get the fuck out of my face. I obviously didn't say fuck, but I was like, get out of my face. And they would say I was disrespectful. He's literally spitting in my face. I'm the disrespectful one? Like, what kind of shit are you teaching your children, bro? What kind of shit are you teaching your children? And I encourage anyone that has children to fucking think, because I went to this DV class for 6 months and these women were just with these men that are like my dad and they're like my mom. It's very, very, very common. It's very common for the mom to claim ignorance. But guess what? She's an adult. I don't care if she's being abused too. She's a fucking adult. She has a way to leave. Way, way, way more than a child does. The options for a child are awful. I never even thought about telling someone at school, because you know what happens when you tell people at school? You get taken away from your family. And then where do you go? I won't have my brother anymore. I won't have anything. That's how I felt growing up. It didn't even, people are like, I've gotten questions like, I talk about my childhood and they're like, why didn't you say anything? What? What was gonna happen? Like, and I also saw, for example, I saw my cousin, like, my cousin, I'm not gonna say her name because I want to protect her, but my cousin, her father, okay, let me just tell you the order of events in her life. She has an older brother that has a, I don't even know what to call it, disorder. He is nonverbal and he can't walk. He's in a diaper type thing. That's her brother. And she had a sister. Her sister dies. She has a mom that is 400, 500 pounds. Her mom dies. She has a father that is abusing substances, using needles, using pills and alcohol, and accidentally mixes, not even accidentally, mixes too much of the alcohol and pills and dies. Like, that's what I was around, you know. I wasn't trying to be picky with my life. I'm glad my family's alive, you know? So I guess to wrap that up, don't shame people for how they handle trauma. I get so many comments like, why'd you take so long to talk about Corey? Why'd you take so long to start a GoFundMe? Why'd you take so long to blah, 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 blah. By the way, I do have a GoFundMe link in the description. Please go donate if you want to. You can read everything on there. But I get questions like that, like, what the fuck do you mean? I've been talking about it, but also at the same time, like, how long do you think it takes to undo them telling you that you're the problem? Like, how long do you think that takes? I heard that for 2 years, that I was the problem, that everything was wrong with me. You know, like, it takes people a long time to deal with things and to digest what happened, to even understand that it happened to them. Like, it doesn't even feel like my life happened to me. It feels like I watched a movie. That's how I feel. It doesn't feel real. In the moment, it was painful and I could not think about anything else. But now that I'm out of it, it feels like a movie. So just don't shame people. Just let them deal with things. Don't shame people. Yeah, I guess that wraps this up. I'll probably talk about the mommy issues more because I'm literally dealing with them right now, but this episode is almost at an hour. Well, it isn't an hour, but I have to cut some stuff out, so maybe it'll be under an hour. But I don't want it to be super, super, super long, so I'm gonna get out of here, okay? I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching episode 2 of Therapy Session, the podcast. I am your host, Michaela Renee. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel down below. Turn the notification bell on so you're notified every time I post a short or an episode. Follow my Instagram at xmichaelafans. Follow my OnlyFans at xmichaelafans and xmichaelafans2 for the sex tapes. And I also have music on Spotify under Aligned Scorpio. So if you want to check that out, I have a few songs on there, and I'm working on new stuff all the time, so I will release new stuff there. So go subscribe to my Spotify profile if you want. I love you guys so much. I have a TikTok, all that stuff. Like this video. Like it. I love you so much. Thank you for being here. I'll see you later. Bye, guys.